Hello, this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. And this is another instalment in my card making for beginners course, but we're actually going right back to basics here because I've had a couple of customers contact me and they've had a few problems with using our trimmer. And so I just thought I'd just do a quick run through. So it's not with using the trimmer, but getting an accurate cut to the size that they wanted on our trimmer. And to me, you know, it seems very straightforward because I've been card making and using trimmers for years. I hate to think how many years. I really started card making when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, and she's now 27. So I've been doing this for a long, long time. But actually, when you're a beginner, some of these things aren't very intuitive and don't make a lot of sense. So we're going to have a look at the trimmer today. I have done another video talking about the features of the trimmer, so I'm not going to go through that. What I'm going to do today is just really in detail try and show how to cut accurately with our trimmer. I might try and just zoom in a little bit so that we can see. There we go. If I pull that down, there we can see the measurements. Hopefully that's really nice and clear. So hopefully you will find this helpful, but if not, if you already know all of this, then just whiz on and go and watch something else. Okay, so we have our trimmer. Now, this is where the blades are housed. So this is where the cut is going to be. This is the point at which your card is going to be cut, obviously, or scored. So we've got two blades here. The one with the lighter colour is a scoring blade. We'll just put a little ridge down your card, which will make it easier to fold. And this one is our cutting blade. The dark brown one is our cutting blade. So we've got those housed in a housing, I don't know what to call that, a blade holder, and like I say, this is where the card is going to cut. So that's where your card is going to cut. Now we've got measurements here, and as you can see, they go from here, which you can't actually see the 0 because it's right where the cut will be, but that will go from 0. So if you wanted something that was just 2 centimeters wide, you would cut to there. I'm going to show you in a minute rather than just talking. Just wanted to explain there are some other readings. So this is really the important one that you need. Don't really need to worry about these. These are useful in some circumstances, but I'm not going to confuse the issue by using those today. I'm just going to use this scale here. Okay, and if you need to have a bigger piece of card and you want to cut it bigger, you have got the option of taking the arm out, and then this measurement will go from 0 right the way up to nearly 44, so 43.5 centimeters or 17 inches. So you can get a really big piece of card there and measure that. But we're not going to use the arm today. Okay, so I'm going to pop that back. We're just going to use this scale here, as I say. Now I've got my piece of A4 card. Before we start again, before I carry on, there are some measurements down this arm here, and again, they are useful for some techniques, but again, I'm not going to confuse the issue by using them today. However, we have got some additional measurements here, and these are quite good to make sure that you line your card up straight, to make sure you've got it straight. So for example, if you were trying to cut at 10 centimeters, which would be there, so I'm going to bring my card, so from 0, I want my card to be 10 centimeters, so I'm going to bring it to there. That would be my 10 centimeters. Now obviously the card is covering the 10 centimeter mark, which might be where some of you are getting a bit confused, so you can't actually see the 10 centimeter once you've got your card there. But then I can line it up with this mark here as well and make sure that I've got that card in really straight so that I know I'm not going to get a wonky piece of card. Right, I'm not going to cut my card there though. What I'm going to start by making this into an A6 card blank, one A6 card blank, and then I'll cut some smaller pieces too. So pop your card, make sure your blade's well out of the way for the moment. In fact, it might be better to have them down the bottom. You could have the scoring one out of the way. Keep the blade, you don't want to cut accidentally. Right, okay, so this is A4, I want to cut it in half. Now, in half of A4 is quite a strange measurement because it measures this length is 29.7 centimeters. So to halve 29.7 is a bit tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut at 15. So I'm going to have one 15 card base, and then I'm going to trim another little bit off and have a 14.5. So there'll be slightly different sizes, but I prefer to measure with those whole measurements. So remember, this is our 0. So we're going to measure along here. There's the 15 mark. So I want to cut my card at 15. So my card is going to cover up till that big mark. So can you see there are some smaller marks, and the big mark is where the actual 15 is. So I'm just going to butt my card up to there. Okay, now so what's happened is my card now measures from the cut point there, 0, to here is 15 centimetres. So if I cut my card, take that one out, don't need that one at the minute. This is the piece that we're looking for. And if I take a ruler, you can see that it is 15 centimetres exactly. So I have cut from there, gone up to the 15 centimetre mark and cut. Now I want to score this in the middle, which is this way. It measures 21 centimetres. So I want to score at 10.5. So again, this is going to be our 0 line. This is where we're going from. Okay. So what I want is 10.5 centimetres, a score line, and then 10.5 centimetres. So I'm going to pop my card back in, and again I'm going to put it up to the top there and slide along, and again we're going to cover up the number that we actually need. So there's the 10, and then I'm going to slide it to the half mark, halfway between 10 and 11, and so there's the 10.5 mark, and I'm going to score, and there is my card blank. So I've cut it, folded it in half perfectly, cut it perfectly. So, right, now we've got a piece of Whisper White left over here. Actually, I'm going to use a bit of coloured card. I don't want to use that up. So let's find, we'll quickly just find a piece of card. Let's use a piece of Melon Mambo. Oh no, let's do a piece of Flirty Flamingo here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's say we want to make a panel to go on our card. So remember, this is now 10.5 by 15. So I want to cut a panel that is, let me get a piece of paper. I'm going to write this down because I know when I'm talking it's easy to. So my card base measures 15 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres. So I want to cut this a centimetre smaller, so I want quite a small panel here. So I'm going to cut it 13 centimetres because I want a centimetre all the way round border by 8.5 centimetres. So that's what I'm aiming to do. So I am going to come into here. I'm going to do the 8.5 side first. So again, this is our 0 point. This is where we're measuring from, with the ridge where the blade goes. And I'm going to take my card and I'm pushing it. That's 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5. So I've covered up the 8, so you can't see it, but you know where you are because the 9 is there, and then it's half a centimetre back. So I'm going to cut there, and then I'm going to turn it round, and the long side I want to be 13 centimetres. So again, this is my 0 point. Sorry to labour that point, but if you're finding it tricky, it might be valuable. And then I'm going to move this along. There's the 12 centimetres. So I don't want 12 centimetres, I want 13. So I need to pull it along till it covers the 13 and is right on that big 13 mark, and then cut. And that should give me, there we go, there's my Flirty Flamingo panel that I will use for a card one day. So I've cut the card blank. So I hope that has helped any of you that are having difficulty. Like I said, there are some other techniques that you can use with your trimmer, but I don't want to cover those at the moment. I just want to get the basics covered. So remember, this is always your 0 point, and this is the scale that you need to use. Don't worry about the 1, 2, 3 on this side at the moment. There are some techniques that be useful, but once you've got to grips with this, then we can deal with those. And if you want a bigger piece, remember to pull your arm out. And these measurements and the ones at the bottom here will just help you make sure you've got your card lined up nice and straight. But if you've got it buttered right up against this edge at the top here, it shouldn't be a problem about getting it straight, as long as your card was cut straight in the first place. So I hope that has helped some of you. Let me know if it does or if it doesn't, and if you need more advice. If you're having problems and you can send me photos of what's happening, that would be good, or even a video if you're able to do that. That would be really good, so I can see what you're doing and I can help more. But if not, I hope that has helped. I will be back soon with another project for our card making for beginners course, so please join me, usually on a Tuesday. I know this is an odd day to be sending this one out, but I missed Tuesday this week. So anyway, that's it from me today. Have a great Friday, have a great weekend. Weekend's coming up, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.